Drink of water. Hey, you seem to be getting good at finding me again though. So, that's something. Like, you can leave whenever you want. I mean, I'm probably going to be going for another 15 minutes on here. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. But anyway, so Cordoba. Right. I'm going to sort this out so that this happens, let you know all of the technical issues that I'm facing right now, because obviously I've increased the complexity of what I'm doing by having multiple cameras and, you know, changing shots. Also, I'm wondering whether the computer being there, because the computer was here, and I'm wondering whether just that distance and it facing that way has meant that it's having a bit of a harder time picking up the signal. It might not be that, I don't know, but it could well be. So I'm going to look into that. But I'm going to get this sorted, because the live streaming thing is really doing it for me. And this is now gone out of focus. Oh man, so annoying. It doesn't save the settings for some reason. Anyway. Alright, I'm going to go from there. So this might be the solo part that I put. If you see, anyway, I put a list item which said solo on it. Make a solo. Right, so. About this sound, I really like it, and I like it's a really like, but it's got this out of tune thing that it does, which is cool. So I'm going to reselect it. So I'm just going to split something out. Okay, here we go. So that was absolute. Like, there's all stuff like there was, that isn't going to be what it is. Yeah, I'm just playing stuff, splurging, and I'm going to listen back to it. I'm going to turn it down. That's one thing I'm going to do. Because how do I describe it? I can feel that there might be something there. Again, and I can feel that there might be something there, but I'm not sure what it is, and it's definitely not working as it is. And again, I do feel that this chord progression at the moment, anyway, I feel that this chord progression could work, but I'm not quite sure how to handle it, if you like, because I don't just want it to be a chord progression with random stuff happening. That kind of wants to go somewhere, and this is where I'm now. Kind of my next problem that I need to solve in this track is sort of what to do to raise the tension beyond what is already happening. And I think one of the problems is this section is probably too long, which is fine. So maybe that's something I need to look at next time. But essentially, so what have I done here? I kind of did that. I did that. Do I try one more thing? Let's just try one more thing. Camera angle. Yeah, so I had there's a question from Samuel, very good question. I find it challenging to make decisions on whether an idea is worth my time or not. Basically, where is the boundary? It depends what you mean by an idea and when you're talking about. So if you're talking about an idea as in looks like my speaker's about to fall over. I obviously messed something up over here. I'm just going to sort this out. Sorry, just going to go off camera a second. Keep your fingers crossed, folks. That would not be pretty. Oh dear. I obviously messed something up when I was trying to plug things in. Right. So it depends what you mean by, coming back to Samuel's question. So I find it challenging to make decisions on whether an idea is worth my time or not. Basically, where is the boundary? So it depends what you mean by an idea. So Samuel, can you answer for me in the chat? When do you mean in the creative process, or do you mean an idea that you've created and then you're listening to afterwards? So in other words, a completed splurge, and then you record the audio and then you listen back. Because if it's that, because the questions, the answer to that question is different depending on which one you're talking about. So I might as well answer both. So if you're talking about an idea that you've just splurged out, yeah, and you've got a bunch of ideas to listen to, yeah, then it kind of becomes a non-problem in a sense, because you've got loads of ideas, and it becomes very obvious which the good idea, the better ideas are, because you're comparing yourself to yourself. Okay, yeah. So you're talking about this, right? So basically, make more ideas, create greater quantity, and this problem will solve itself. Like, that question is an indication that you haven't made enough ideas yet. Yeah, because if you had, let me have a look. I'm going to change the screen. Change the camera angle, please. Excuse me. Camera operator, can you please change the camera angle? Yes. There you go. Right. If you had, and maybe you do. I mean, you may well do, right? But if you take each of these cards here is an idea. Yeah. So if you had that many, it's still going. Right. So how many ideas are in here? Let's actually find out. $728. So that's 728 ideas in there. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 728 ideas in there. Okay, and then all of these as well. And these. Yeah. And essentially, what the automatic music machine is it's a really good way of comparing yourself to yourself. Yeah. And when you listen back, when you're choosing between the ideas to work on, when you're choosing between the ideas to work on, it soon becomes much more obvious which to work on. You don't really, and then often what will happen is you'll start working on it, and then you'll realize that actually you don't want to work on it. So it like that question doesn't really come into it anymore. Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, if you're talking about, and I'll just answer the other question that it could have been, if you're talking about an idea which you're in the middle of the creative process of, the way I kind of think about it is I just leave whatever I've played in usually, just to see what it's like, because again, the overarching frame around this is that when we are actually creating, we don't really know. We're the least likely to understand how good or bad something is, if you like. Yes, you don't want to work on it. If you don't want to work on it, then don't work on it. Obviously, that there is a little bit of a something to be said there, in that and the reason I keep looking back is I keep needing to check to see if I've got the right camera on. So yeah, that sometimes I don't want to work on it is simply procrastination. Yeah, it's or fear or anxiety or something like that. So you want to be careful with that. Oh, I don't want to work on this, because you can sometimes fool yourself that it's something to do with the music, and it's not. So again, you do want to be mindful of that distinction. Yeah, that sometimes, oh, I don't want to work on this. It's, maybe you're bored of it. I mean, to be honest with you, this track I've been working on it, a long time, multiple sessions, and I am kind of bored of it. So there is a part of me that doesn't want to work on it, but so I'm kind of ignoring that. But certainly with the stuff that you're splurging out, which is different, which is at the start of the machine, you won't have that kind of same thing. So it's like, what do you want to work on this week? Anyway, I think you've joined, I think I saw anyway that you might have joined the Leap, Samuel. Did I see that? I think so. And if you have, then you'll find out all of these things. So what was I doing? Yes, okay, that was what I was doing. I was about to try, because if we talk about what this is supposed to be doing, oh great, yeah, so you'll find out, Samuel.